Okay, I'm just going to do a brief video. This kind of sucks. The rain forecast today was like 5%. Well, that was wrong. I checked it before I came out here. It was saying 5%, and it started raining while I've been working in the trailer. And look at this. I got all my stuff out here in the yard. My mowers are out here. I had all this stuff in the trailer to start with to protect it in case it rained. Didn't rain all night. Then I get out here this morning, unload it, and it starts raining. And of course, the forecast just said cloudy, 5% chance of rain. That was it. So hour by hour, no bigger than 5%. Some of it says 0%. Well, it's not 0%. It's 100% because it is flat out raining right now. It's not raining that hard, and it's probably going to stop because it's supposed to be sunny this afternoon. So at any rate, I just kept on working. So this is what I've done. As you can see, everything is out of the room and off the walls. I took the shelves completely apart. In fact, here's one of the tops right there. It's dark back there because I closed the ramp because it was getting rain inside. Anyway, so these are all the screws I collected. That was empty when I started. Those are all the screws I collected from the wall, from the stuff I took apart. So here we have it. Now the thing to do is to take this plywood off the walls, because I don't know if you can make this out, but you see behind that plywood there's a stud. There's a stud right here, right there. I don't know. It's hard to see because it's all black. There's a stud there. Trust me. And there's one right here. Right there. At any rate, in between those studs is where I'm going to put the insulation. It's some type of, it's just a board insulation. It's just like a foam board that's going to go in between. It's only, I think they're about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch thick, and that's about an inch. Those studs are about an inch thick, so should fit just fine. In fact, it was recommended on some other YouTube videos to do just that. So this part right here, these are just trim pieces that are stapled into the plywood, and then of course the plywood is screwed into the studs right here. These screws, everywhere you see these screws, there's a stud there, because that's where it's screwed into the stud. But obviously these trim pieces cover up the cracks between pieces of plywood. Now over here, the plywood goes behind the wall. Now how am I going to do that? Well, I am going to, earlier I told you I was going to buy a jigsaw. And the jigsaw is a device, I'll show it to you later. It's a saw that it basically I don't know how to describe it. There's a blade that just goes up and down like this and saws, and you just move it along. That's what I'm going to use on the ceiling and to cut the holes for the vent fans. And I'll use it for stuff like this. So I'll put like a jigsaw, a 2x4. I'll set it on 2x4 so the blade, I don't want the blade to go all the way through the wall. So I'll put it on 2x4 just to cut along that plywood. After I fold it back and see where I need to cut. I may not need to cut. I may just be able to bend the plywood back away from the wall and just stuff the insulation in behind it. If that's the case, that's fantastic. That's what I'm hoping will happen. And it's so long that that's probably I'm sure that's the end of the plywood. So it probably should work. I should be able to just fold it back and just ease it down in there. So now I have, this is a vent hole. This goes outside the trailer, so there's a hole right there that vents there, and I am not sure. I'll take that cover off, and the hole will still be there on the outside. So I'm not sure how that's all connected, but I'm sure it will be no big deal. Not really worried about that. I do have to clean this trailer out. The floor's got grass all over it. I want to start with a clean working space, but I'll probably do that after I take the plywood off, because there might be dirt and stuff behind the plywood, so I'll just want to clean it all at one time. Anyway, and I'll have to take that light off. That light is actually wired into the trailer lights. So it's only useful when the trailer is plugged into the truck and when the lights are on in the truck. Which I understand that being plugged into the truck makes it useful, but why do the lights have to be on? Well, because it's wired into the truck, the trailer lights. It's not wired into a separate, it should be wired straight into the power, but instead it's wired into the lights. So anyway, so you have to have the lights on in the truck, and the trailer has to be plugged into it for that to work. So now I could rewire that and make it a light that plugs into my power station. So, which is how I'm going to do the vent fans, because they're electrical as well. The hood opens. They have two sensors on them: a temperature control sensor and a rain sensor. It has a fan that's got 10 different speeds, 5 one direction and 5 the other direction. So there's power going there, and both of those have them. So I have one, probably put one right over here. I don't know, maybe I should put it over the bed. At any rate, if I put one over here on this side, then the other one will go on the other side. So I am not sure. I'm thinking I will probably put it over here on this side, because mostly what I need a fan over here for is if I'm cooking. Then that way it will, take the stuff outside. So, and I won't be cooking on this side over here, because that's where my loft is going to be. So if I put a fan over here, then on this side, then I will put the other fan on the other side. Just for symmetry's sake. So I don't have two fans on the same side. I don't know. I mean, maybe I could just line them up on one side. I don't know. I have to think about that. It doesn't really matter so much where the fan goes. It just matters that it's in the room and it's functioning. So I'll have to see. I'll have to see what's necessary. But after I get the insulation in the walls, and I'll put the plywood back on, and the trim pieces, I'm going to have to get a staple gun or something, some kind of stapler to staple that trim pieces back if I want to use those trim pieces again. And then I can build the loft. Well, I am not sure if I want to go to the loft or just I want to go ahead and install the fans after I do the walls. Maybe I should install the fans and then do the roof, the roof insulation, because I'm going to put insulation up there too, and I have to buy some plywood to go over top of that insulation. That will screw into those studs that you see there on the wall. Well, they're not really. I don't know if you call them studs or just slats, but anyway, the plywood will hook onto there, screw into there. So, but I want to put the vent fan in before then, because that way I can worry about shaping the insulation and stuff around the fan rather than the other way around, rather than cutting a hole into the insulation. I don't know, it might be easier just to cut right into the insulation, but I'll have to see. Probably do the fan first, then do the ceiling, and then I will be ready for the lofts. To do the loft. And as I said before, the loft is going to go somewhere in the middle of the trailer, all the way over to this wall here. And basically it's going to divide the trailer in half. You take the trailer, it's going to go all the way to here and stop all the way down. Before I had shelves that went, let's see if I can do this. Shelves that went all the way across from this side, all the way over to this side. That's not going to happen now. Now I'm going to have the 2 shelves, but they're going to go from the middle over to this side. And over here on this side, there's not going to be any shelves. Probably going to mount my flat screen TV up here so that I can view it laying in bed. My head's going to be down here and I'm going to be up top so I can see the TV up here. And that will allow me to be able to just walk up to it. The desk, the table, the shelf down here is going to be my desk. So basically I'll probably put a desk chair like right here, or just a folding chair to sit right here. And that'll be my desk. And that's all I need. That's like plenty of space. And I was going to use my TV as a computer monitor, but I've changed that since I'm putting the TV on that wall over there. I'm going to use my regular computer monitor, and I'll probably mount it to the wall as well with a TV mount, because I noticed on the back of my monitor you can mount it. So I will do that. And the desk will have the desktop computer on it, and it'll have, I'm not sure what else I'll have. Maybe I'll put the power station on it. I'm not sure. I am not sure where I'm going to put the power station, because no matter where I put it, I have got to run plugs to get to it. So I'm probably going to have several surge protectors mounted on walls, and then take the cord from that surge protector. Maybe I'll get surge protectors with long cords and run it along the walls until it gets to the surge protector, and it'll all plug in. There's only 6 plug-ins, but the surge protector, you can plug in more as long as you don't exceed your wattage. It won't be any different than plugging a surge protector into a house, the outlet for a house. So as long as you don't exceed your wattage, and all that stuff that is plugged in will not be turned on all the time. The desktop computer will not be being used all the time. The printer will not be used. I forgot I was going to put the printer up there. The printer will not be being used all the time. Different lights in here that are plugged in there. Actually, a lot of the lights, all but the desk lights, all those lights are either battery operated, or they might be wired into the DC outlet, which is where I'm going to wire the fan, which is a DC outlet. It's just what you plug into your cigarette lighter. See on the back, see the front of this, there are six connections, and then there are 4 USB, 2 USB-C, 2 USB-A, and 3, I have that light plugged in. You can't see all of them, but I have 3 3-prong outlets and 3 2-prong outlets. And then back here, let me turn this around. There is, this goes in like this. There is that's a DC for car battery, that's the plug-in to the for a DC plug-in for anything that has a car battery thing. So that's where the fan, I will get a hookup that will hook right into there. It has wires, and the vent fans will come off of there, and maybe some of the lighting. This is the plug-in where this area right here is where power goes into the power station. These and those outs from the front is when power comes out of the power station. So this is the plug-in for like when you plug into the wall, or when I plug into the generator. This is a XT60 plug-in. That'll be good for the solar panels, or also you can plug in charge this thing with a cigarette lighter in your truck. I could just take the power station in the truck and charge it in the cigarette lighter. It doesn't charge very fast, but it plugs in, that cigarette lighter end plugs into there, and the other end plugs into the truck. This right here is a different kind. I forgot what those are called. Well, that was longer than I thought it was going to be. But I think before I get started on these walls, I need to run to the store and get my dog some food. I ran out last night. Wasn't paying attention, and I gave him the last of the food, so he hasn't been fed this morning. And I decided to treat myself to some Cracker Barrel. I think I'm going to go get some blueberry pancakes and some bacon with a Coke Zero. So, because Coke Zero, because I'll be getting enough sugar with the syrup. So, there you have it. That's the plan right now. I'm happy I got this much done this quick. So, that's encouraging. The walls, cutting the insulation is probably going to take a minute, but it does need to be not raining, because I need to do that. I use the bed of my truck as my workstation, work table. I need to do that when it's not raining. And right now, it's not really raining. Most of the rain that I hear, that you may hear it on the phone, is blowing, coming off the trees and blowing onto the trailer from the wind. So it may not be raining anymore, but I definitely don't want it to be raining when I do that. I don't want the insulation to get wet at all. I don't want any drops on it at all. So, not that it couldn't stand it a little bit. It's just that I don't want it. It's going to be stuffed into a wall, and that's where I want it. That's where I want it to be completely dry. So, there you have it. Guess I'll see you on the next video. This was kind of spontaneous. I didn't plan on doing this video, but I had to vent my frustration from the rain. And I decided to show you my progress so far. So I will talk to you later. Ciao.